Energy is everywhere. Since the beginning of the universe, 13.8 billion years ago, energy's been the driver of everything we know. It's powered our dynamic planet. And its many processes. It was energy from the sun, interacting with matter, that caused all living things to evolve, resulting in the wide diversity of life on Earth today, including humans. Every sensation we have comes about because of some kind of energy. Our understanding and uses of energy, and its sources over time, have dramatically changed human possibilities and activities. Yet when the power goes out, it focuses our attention on just how important a reliable energy supply is for our daily lives. It's a major event for everyone involved. One can even see it from space.
They're talking about energy resources. So this guy, this energetic guy here is Erile Sergio. And I'm Ali. I'm Ronald Jaramilla, and we're going to talk about energy resources. It's going to introduce the basics type for the and for dollar uniform. And we're experiencing some positive difficulties, so please bear with us. Just watch the video. Thank you.
Hello guys, I'm Erile Sergio from University of Makati, discussing to you about our topic, energy resources. So come on, let's start. But first, what is energy? Energy is the capacity to work and is required for life processes. So the main thing we can relate in energy is electricity. But where do we get this electricity? We know that we consume electricity every day from the different distributors like Malampaya to Meralco. These two distributors are actually the distributors of electricity, but they are not actually produces electricity, in which is our main topic comes the energy resources. Energy resources. Energy resources is basically about the ways of harnessing energy, which is commonly for electricity. An energy source is something we can use to create energy. Sun is the best example of energy source. So they are different. Energy resources and energy source. There are two main classifications of energy resources, namely renewable and non-renewable. Renewable resources. Renewable resources can be replenished in a short period of time, so they will never be all used up. It is more to generate electricity. Non-renewable. In non-renewable, it cannot be replenished. We have only limited supplies of them. So that's all. That's all for today. Again, I'm Erile Sergio from University of Makati.
So next up is about renewable resources. As said earlier, renewable resources can be used again and again, so it is very efficient compared to the non-renewable resources. And it's also known as the clean energy. So number one in the list of renewable resources is solar energy. So as the name itself, solar energy, you can say that we get the energy from the sun. So the sun gives off its sun rays towards the earth, and we use the sunlight received from the sun and convert it to electricity using solar cells. So this is how solar cells looks like. They are those panels that directly convert sunlight to electricity. The process that works onto these solar cells are quite different from the photosynthesis, which is the process that happens in plants where they create their own food using the sunlight, water, carbon, and other elements around it. So that's it about solar. The only disadvantage is the high cost of production. So next up is about wind power. It is as it is. Wind power, as in we are using the wind itself. We are using the wind's kinetic energy to move the turbine. As it seems absurd as it is, wind seems kind of weak to move turbines by itself. But the thing is, it actually does the work. We place the turbines on places where wind are consistent. So we use windmills. These are the giant turbines we use in wind power, driven by the power of the wind. So this is how it looks like. The thing about wind power is it's only limited to specific areas with high wind current consistency, where we can harness efficient energy from the wind. So next up is about hydropower. So hydropower is also the same as the hydroelectric energy. So in the hydropower we use water, and hydropower works quite the same as the wind power, also using its kinetic energy to drive the turbines to spin. So in hydropower, we use the downstream fall of the water using the gravity, of course. And in hydropower, we also utilize the dams. Dams may seem to be just for water control, for flood control, and water regulation, but the turbines themselves are in the dams. They store the water, then let it out, and the turbine spins as the water flows down. Also, in the hydropower, we include the wave and tidal power. We utilize the ocean's currents and tides to our advantages, to use the force of impact we receive from the waves to also spin the turbine. So that's how hydropower works. The disadvantage is that water supply is lessened when using this, because the water supply is delayed for our other needs. So next up is about geothermal energy. So in geothermal, it is made up of two words, is geo and thermal. Geo came from the word ge, spelled as GE, meaning earth, and thermal from the word thermos, meaning heat. That makes up the word geothermal. So, in geothermal energy, utilize the Earth's interior heat. So, this is how this is an illustration of the geothermal energy. We use the interior heat of the Earth, then inject. So, inject is the term. So, we put the water underground and to the places near where we can find high heat concentration beneath the earth. Then the water boils up and steam comes up, then turbine spins. So we can say that Earth's heat is unlimited and consistent for our use. So that's it about geothermal energy. The thing is, it's limited to specific areas only, or we can dig up. So next up is about biomass. So biomass, we can describe the word with bio, which means life. So in biomass, we use the remains of living organisms, specifically living organisms which are plants. In biomass, it works quite the same as a fuel. We can use the biomass directly and combust it to use the heat energy and convert it to mechanical energy, then convert it to electrical energy. So, or alternatively, convert it to biofuel first, then use it. So in biofuel, we call it biofuel because it is from biomass. The difference between biofuel and ordinary fuel is the production rate of pollutants. It's about 23 times lesser than that of normal fuel. That's why it's called the clean fuel. So in renewable resources, you can generalize it by saying it is the clean and available energy. So why clean? Because compared to the other energy resources, it produces much less pollutants compared to it. Like the coal, normal fuel, where it emits a lot of CO2, other pollutants to the atmosphere, and we suffer from pollution. And available because we can utilize it again and again for our own efficiency. So that's it about renewable resources. So thank you for listening, and next up is about non-renewable resources.
The other classification of energy resources is non-renewable energy resources. The most non-renewable energy resources are fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are comprised of dead organisms. Examples of fossil fuels are coal. We burn coal to create energy. Yeah, coal. The commonly known coal is charcoal. And it looks black because of its main component, which is carbon. Peat is the lowest rank of coal, while anthracite is the highest rank of coal. So let's proceed to the other example of fossil fuels. Which is the oil. Oil is a liquid fossil fuel. It is trapped by underground rock formations. About half of it is converted into gasoline. We use it for many things. It can be processed and used in liquid products such as nail polish, rubbing alcohol, and it can be used in cooking, etc. The third one would be natural gas. It is another fossil fuel that is trapped underground in reservoirs. The example of it is LPG. Natural gas is comprised of hydrocarbon, and it is mostly made of methane. Let's proceed to the last one. And remember, it is not a kind of fossil fuel. It is the nuclear power. Nuclear power, which is comprised of uranium. Nuclear energy is usually considered another non-renewable energy source. Although nuclear energy itself is a renewable energy source, the material used in nuclear power plants is not. Nuclear energy is a popular way of generating electricity around the world. And that's it. That's the 4 examples of non-renewable energy resources. And take note of this. All fossil fuels are non-renewable energy resources, but not all non-renewable energy resources are fossil fuels. And all non-renewable energy resources are pollutants.
Hey guys. So thank you for watching our video. And again, this is I'm Adi and I'm Ronald Jaramilla. So thank you for watching our video about energy resources. So before we end, let's have a little recap.
First, we differentiate energy source and energy resources. And energy sources has 2 classifications, which is renewable and renewable.
Like mine is renewable resources. So that's important. Examples. So we have solar and wind, then hydropower, geothermal, and biomass. So that's 5.
And what I have discussed is the non-renewable resources, and the main example of it is the fossil fuels, which are the coal, oil, natural gas, and nuclear. No, nuclear power is not a fossil fuel, and that's it.
So that's all we can share about energy resources to you. So again, thank you for watching our video.
Bye guys!